Hey folks, Jonathan here. Today in the I have no idea what we're doing upholstery shop. We are trying to put a seat cover together for a nice beautiful seat here. This is actually out of the 51 Studebaker. Figured if I was going to do something, I just go on and practice on this. And this is all material that well, this was clearance material that was at Walmart, and it was on a clearance rack. It was cheap. This stuff here I bought at the REA, which is a place here local. People helping people help people, if that makes any sense to you. You know, you can get a roll of it about like this or something for $2 or $1 or something like that. So it's really cheap. And so the plan is, this is going to be the bottom seat. You know, I'm just, I ain't gonna say I'm tired of sitting on here, but the blanket that I've got on there keeps coming off on the back, and it's just aggravating. So I figured we'd go ahead and do something with this. As you can see, the burlap shot, and this one's got burlap cotton above it. And these wires here, it's my understanding that this is normal, and most people don't go back and use these wires. They just go back with burlap on top of here. I don't know. I don't think I've got burlap. I've got some other material that will work really good for that. Need something tough that's not going to get wore through with the springs. I think we're going to do that, and then we're just going to put foam over top and just see how it works out. I don't know. I've got some really thick, harder foam, but I've got some regular foam too. So we'll figure it out as we go. And you know, I don't even know that I've got enough to be able to do the rest of the car in this, but it don't matter to me. This is practice. I'm playing, you know, breaking needles, sewing fingers, and breaking thread, and about everything else. We're just trying to figure something out. So my needles will actually be here today, and I did break my only one good needle that I got with the machine, and I still don't know how I done it, but anyway, I done it. So another thing too, I ordered a servo motor for that. Luckily, you know, a couple people, or quite a few people, mentioned it on YouTube, and I had no clue that they even had one. So that shows you how far up I am on this stuff. And you know, I had to go watch videos to learn how to thread this machine, and how to well, how to do everything on here. So I had no clue, the bobbin, all of it. So you know, I'm learning as I go, with the same resources that's available to everybody, which is you know, YouTube. So I had picked this thread up too, along with the green thread I was using. It's thin as can be and no good. So I finally got some upholstery thread, so thicker thread. All I've got is black. I don't have my bobbin winder in yet. They're running behind. The needles, bobbins, some white thread, some other stuff's going to be here today. And I was playing here just to, this is actually a piping foot, and I'll show you. Underneath this foot is a rounded area. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it where you can see it, but there you can see it. But it's the rounded area. That's actually for piping. Now you can use a piping foot for regular sewing, which we're going to do because this is the only foot I've got. But you can also get like a zipper foot, left and right, that can get closer to the edge. But this will actually work just fine for what we're doing. And I don't have any piping for that seat, so I was just looking at this 3/16 cord and just trying to make some piping myself, and that would be some good practice anyway for sewing. So we'll see how this works out. And I don't even know that that's the color I'm going to use. I just wanted to see how that particular size would fit in this piping foot. So so far so good. Everything's going all right. I'm going to sew pleats into here. I've got this on, it's actually spray glued to 1/4 inch sew foam. So it's foam that has like a cloth layer on the back side, so the thread won't pull through. So we're going to flip it over, mark it out, and then we're going to sew pleats on this. And I wouldn't have to. I could leave it like it is, but you know, like I said, I'm not doing this for any particular reason other than practice. So, and you know, a good place to put my butt. But anyway, main thing's practice. So we're going to do this bottom, we're going to flip this up on here and trace it out once we're done. Now, one thing you got to watch, and I do know, is when you sew pleats in, this gets narrower. Now, I don't know how much narrower on this, so we'll just have to make sure that our outside pieces are wide enough. That's just a couple scraps I laid in there, but basically you get the idea. It's going to be a 2 pleated seats and then just divider here in the center. So anyway, sometime today we're going to get sewing, and I'll do some videoing, and like I said, hopefully we can get something figured out here, because like I said, I'm learning, and you know, it's just one of them things. If it's something you want to do, I try to think about particular things like this is how much skill level a person has at a particular job. And you know, if you sit back and think, and you know, you think about the world's strongest man, you know, I'm never going to be able to compete in that. And you know, some of the things, playing basketball or something, or even baseball, I'm not going to be able to compete in that. But if you talk about something that you can, that's learnable, and this is absolutely learnable for anybody, and you know, can't be scared to do it. You got to jump in there and go for it. And you know, and when it comes to like the world's strongest man, you know, smart people have other options. In other words, I'd pull up in there with my forklift, and then we'd see who would win it then. All right, okay, folks. I've been really busy towing today, but seems we got quite a few wrecks. Anyway, I want to show you what I've done here. Now, I didn't do anything to treat this. I probably should have, but it shouldn't be getting wet anymore, so I don't think it's going to get any worse. I'm not too worried about it. This is practice. Okay, what we've done, I know you're supposed to use burlap in the bottom, but I didn't. Well, that's the top actually, but I didn't use burlap. I had some other material that's really tough stuff, and I didn't have any burlap, so that's what I used. Okay, and what I've got is 1-inch foam on top, and instead of using the cotton like was on it originally, we'll get the corners rounded off where we want them. We're going to go over top of this one more time with 1/2 inch and let it hang over about 2 inches down. And we're working on our cover now, the top section of cover. Now, I didn't have enough cover to get a pattern, so I'm going to actually lay the cover down, lay this on it, mark it out, and then I'm going to sew my piping on it. And I ended up making the piping myself because I didn't have any more, and I didn't feel like ordering any. So luckily I got a piping foot on the machine, so it was no problem. But I went ahead and made it out of the brown, and you'll see here shortly, you know, the collar's house coming out. So we've got to do a little bit more work to it to get it fitted right, but I think it's going to sit good. And I know it's not the right way of doing it, and I'm sure a lot of people that know what they're doing will let me know that it's not the right way of doing it, but it's my way. It's the way I'm going to do it. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to do the Golden Hawk the same way, but I'm just using what I've got. I didn't want to go buy a bunch of stuff, so we're working on it. We're going to get it one way or the other, and then anyway. But you know, normally you would sandblast this and repaint it. I'm not, like I said, I'm not too worried about it. I don't think, you know, it's going to get much worse than that in that vehicle, because it shouldn't be getting wet anymore. And I probably should have hit it with a wire brush, but I didn't. I'm in a hurry. I got a lot going on, but I'm, you know, excited about trying to learn how to do this. So we'll just keep at it, and however it looks, and you know, we'll show you either way. So I'll keep at it and go from there. Okay, here's what we've got. This is my piece, I guess you call pleated, whatever you want to call it. I did get off a little. See the width of that compared to the width of that. So learning as I go. Okay, like I said, I made the piping to go around this, so we're going to go ahead and get the piping sewed on, and then we're going to start working on the sides and the front and the back, and then hopefully we'll have this thing fitted on there in a little bit, and we can see how it's going to go. I've still got to put foam on the bottom side of this and this. You know, I did the sew-in foam. I guess I just need to sew a piece in so it'll be the same thickness. So we'll do that, and also do the piping. We'll go ahead and get that knocked out. So this is the color I went with. It's a dark brown, and then I don't know what kind of brown that is. Light brown. this was bought as salvage, like I said, and this was bought as on clearance. So, you know, there's not much money here whatsoever. So, and like I said, I didn't want to buy piping, so we just made some. So we're going to go ahead and get this sewn in and go from there. Okay, we're moving along. Got the cover in the back section done. Now we're getting ready to do the sides and the front. Here's what we got to work with for patterns. I think these sides I can handle. This front, I think originally the front actually went up and was the top also. So what we'll do is we'll get our contour here and then we'll measure and get our height. And that's the original upholstery though. That's what it looked like from the Studebaker factory. So anyway, the stuff that I used down here on the other one I don't like. It don't bend good. I think I'm going to maybe sew me up some more of that piping and just use it. Something a little more flexible than what I'm messing with. I used this stuff. Yeah, this is material I had and I don't like it. Anyway, alright. I also want to hit on a couple of things here that that I noticed while sewing this stuff. You know, I got little tiny wrinkles where it was shrinking, and I was trying to figure out what I needed to do to keep it from, you know, trying to wad up on me or anything. So I was pulling a little bit, pushing a little bit, you know, just trying to see what I needed to do. And it turns out what I need to do is leave my fingers off of it and let it pull itself through and just guide it. And that's where I was messing up. Finally got that straightened out, and I got the stitch per inch right on it, what I wanted, and which took a little work because this sewing machine's been sitting. And let me show you the threads per inch is back here, and there's a little, you basically just turn it, but there's a little opening somewhere. It's in the bottom right now. There's an opening right here where you can see how many threads per inch it is. And I'm sort of getting used to the pedal. It still gets away from me every once in a while, but I still haven't picked up a belt yet. But you know, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and change it over to the servo motor. I think it'll work a whole lot better. And everything else is, you know, pretty neat on this. It's not a walking foot, it's a walking needle, I guess is what it's called. So this is, you know, a really old model, early model. Hopefully we can get this thing finished up and stretched over tonight. And just because I'm excited to see what it's going to look like. It's not going to be perfect by any means, but I'm glad I went ahead and done this instead of trying to jump on them Studebaker seats. So, but I'm going to get right back at it here. Okay folks, I'm going to call it a night. Screwed up in a few places, but I mean, I'm not done yet here. But there's going to be a few spots right there, and you can see where I ended and started because I didn't have a long enough piece of piping. But if I'd done it again, I would probably change up. I couldn't, I didn't have a piece that would fit all the way around, but I could have done two on the sides or something like that. But this is not done. It's not stretched or anything yet. I don't have the bottom done like I need it. So anyway, real good learning experience. I'm glad I've done this before I attempted to do the other. And you know, I'm going to wait till tomorrow and then I'll finish this up and show you what it looks like once it's stretched on there and everything's like it should be. But anyway, I'm not too happy with it, but you know, like I said, I'm really glad I did this first because I learned a whole lot. I mostly learned what not to do. Not necessarily what to do, but what not to do. So, alright. Okay folks, bottom's done. Not perfect by any means, but it's in there. Now I had to come set it in so I can mark where our insert needs to go on these backrests on the back, and so we're going to get these out and go ahead and cover them. Seat sits really well. Learned a whole lot. That was the main thing, and I'm going to do my best to get these inserts to line up on the back, but you know, we'll see how that works. you know, like I said, most of it's new to me. So anyway, there it is. You can see some of the issues I did. I stopped my piping and started again because I didn't have none long enough. I can hand sew that together a little bit to make it look a little better. But besides that, it fits pretty well. Anyway, there's the front. It all come out really well, and I don't think there's any major issues, but just trying to get this stuff lined up, so we'll see how it goes. But anything beats them springs in your back anyway. So, all right, appreciate everybody watching. Until next time, bye.